college football kicks off tomorrow. And so we cover it with Joe Fortenbaugh, who's got numbers, and Greg McElroy back with us after a long summer. He's got the analysis. We'll do more or less. All of the totals that we bring you here are from the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. So, Joe, let's start with Colorado. We were just talking about Shedeur Sanders. Dion, of course, still there. Their total is 5.5 wins. What do you think?
Less, but I wouldn't be aggressive with it. It's a sharp number. It's hard to be bullish on a team like this when you take as much production from last year's team off the roster. Great quarterback in Sanders, Heisman Trophy winner, two-way player, number 3 overall pick in Travis Hunter. I've got him as underdogs in 8 of 12 games. There's some coin flips in there, but I lean to less here on 5.5 wins.
Greg, what, if anything, does Dion as a coach have to prove this year?
Well, Grady, he has to prove nothing. He's done an amazing job taking Colorado from the cellar of college football to one of the most watched and exciting programs in the sport year over year. He's already established himself as a top-level coach. If they were to fall off this year because of the absences of Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, that would happen to just about anybody, so I wouldn't take it too personal if, in fact, that goes down. What I'm curious about, though, is if he overextends, he goes from not just one of the most exciting coaches, but one of the most respected coaches in college football based on his exo acumen. He has a big chance sitting right in front of him this season.
All right, he might be the biggest star in the sport. Let's go to the number 1 team in the sport, at least according to the preseason poll. Texas, their total, Joe, at ESPN Bet Sportsbook is 10.5 wins. You go more or less?
Less, and this is one where I'd get aggressive. 10.5, remember, bowl games don't count, playoff games don't count, conference championship games don't count. It's just a 12-game regular season. So if you price someone at 10.5, what you're telling us is that you have an elite quarterback. Arch Manning, he might be an elite quarterback. I've only seen 95 career passes. What does that tell us? I'm going to go under. 2 big dog spots with Ohio State and Georgia.
Yeah, they open as the number 1 team in the country as an underdog against Ohio State. Greg, Arch Manning, that I guess is the great unknown. He's been incredibly famous for an incredibly long time. His family is football royalty. What do you expect from Arch Manning this year?
He's going to be amazing, Greeny. And what I've most enjoyed in covering Arch Manning the last couple of years, we know he has the talent. You don't become a blue chip prospect without having gifted ability to throw the football down the field. And unlike his uncles, the guy can really run and create with his legs. But what's most encouraging is the maturity that he's displayed over the last few years while serving as the backup quarterback to Quinn Ewers. He has kind of gone about his business. He's focused on getting better, more physically mature, a better grasp of what Steve Sarkisian wants to do offensively. He's prepared for the ebbs and flows that this season might present. So I think it's maturity that has me most bullish because we already know the physical skill set is there.
For what it's worth, Field Yates did a projection of next year's draft already and has him projected as the number 1 overall pick. All right, one more. A lot of people very high on Clemson this year, Joe. Their total at ESPN Bet Sportsbook is 9.5 wins. What do you think?
More. I'm surprised this hasn't gone to 10.5. They're going to be a favorite in all 12 games this year. They're going to be a double-digit favorite in 9 of those 12 games. Dabo finally hit the portal, and the result is that he's got the most experienced team in the nation. So we love the schedule. We love the experience. Got to love the quarterback play. Cade Klubnik, 36 touchdowns to 6 interceptions last year. He's got 37 career games under his belt. Love this Clemson team this season.
Well, let me show you just how much Greg McElroy loves them. This is Greg's preseason ranking, and he has Clemson at number 1. They were 10-4 last year. They bring back Cade Klubnik. That number, of course, includes the playoff. Cade Klubnik, after throwing 36 touchdown passes last season. Greg, why do you have Clemson the number 1 team in the country?
Well, Grady, they have the fewest question marks. You already referenced a moment ago, Joe did, is that they have so much returning production, and we're projecting a bit. A lot of their best players last year were true freshmen in some cases, true sophomores in some others. Now that group has played multiple years together. Cade Klubnik's going to year 3 as a starting quarterback, and the ACC schedule that Joe just referenced, it's more gettable than the schedule that you'll see in the SEC and in the Big Ten. That's why, while Penn State might have as talented a roster as Clemson does, their likelihood of getting to the postseason at 12-1 or 11-2 is not as high as that of Clemson. So I think Clemson, when we project to the end of the year, assuming they stay healthy, will have the best record, which could lead to the best seed which would lead them to being the #1 overall team in college football this season.
The other thing quickly, Greg, that jumped out at me on your list there is Ohio State all the way down at number 8. Why so low for the defending champ?
We are taking a bit of a risk. Now, a lot of people were critical last year when people were kind of questioning whether or not Michigan, coming off a national championship, should be ranked in the top 10. They weren't, according to me, because they lost so much. Ohio State did too. Now, if you look at their superstar talent at Caleb Downs at safety, Jeremiah Smith at wide receiver, their top players are among the best in college football. But the pieces that have to be replaced cannot be overstated, especially at quarterback, where Julian Sand, a redshirt freshman, will be making his first career start against the Texas Longhorns in the non-conference. I think they're going to take a little while to figure themselves out, but at the end of the season, they might be playing as well as anybody.
Again, they open with Texas, yeah.
On top of that, both coordinators are gone. Jim Knowles is one of the best in the business. He's now the DC at Penn State. Chip Kelly, who did an amazing job revamping that offense before the playoff run, he's with the Raiders. Brian Hartline steps up there. Matt Patricia steps up on D. A lot of moving parts there.
All right, fascinating, and we are just a day away from kickoff in Ireland. Greg, outstanding. Joe can...
The Big 12, number 22, Iowa State taking on number 17, Kansas State. K-State QB Avery Johnson setting school records, 25 touchdown passes last season, also rushed for more than 600 yards. Iowa State Rocco Becht has thrown for the most yards among Big 12 quarterbacks in the last 2 seasons.
Hot Ticket is brought to you by Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Buy tickets, earn rewards.
We batted the name around for this segment. I liked Paulin on a budget. We settled on bomb or bust. Paul Finebaum is joining us. He was given a budget, $15 in fine bucks, to spend on 5 different teams that you think have the best shot at winning the national championship. You've been on social media in any sport, really. You've seen some construct of this game. Paul is here to play with the very real fine bucks. All right, the current AP top 25 preseason rankings, teams ranked in the top 5 are going to cost you $5 on down the line, right? 6 to 10 or $4, 11 to 15 or 3. Teams ranked 16 to 20 or 2. Teams ranked 21 to 25 or 1. You know the construct. Here's Paul Finebaum. Paul, how are you investing these fine bucks?
I almost went with Texas a couple of times, Randy, but the producers told me I could not. So I am going to start spending my $5 with the University of Texas and, of course, Arch Manning, who I am, of course, promoting for the Heisman. After that, it got a little bit tricky. I spent $4 on Alabama. That, I'm told by some people, is not a good bet, but I like it. I think Alabama ought to be in the $5 category. Arizona State was a little bit edgy. No Scatterboo, but they still have Levitt at quarterback. I think they're getting back to the playoffs. SMU, I'm riding the ponies because they're only a $2 bet at the $2 window. And the last one I did in honor of Cody Campbell. He's the richest booster in the country. He has bankrolled Texas Tech more than any other school. So I'm spending $1 on Campbell's almost $1 billion budget. That is an exaggeration, but it's early in the morning.
It is early in the morning. Hey, when you say you would have slotted Bama up there, would you have knocked anybody out of the $5 category or just added Bama to that $5 category?
Yeah, I was wrestling with Clemson, too. I like them after Texas. Bama would be my third pick. I'm comfortable with it, but I understand from sources
all right.
that Randy Scott does not like my pick for Bama.
I do. No, the Fighting Matt Berries get too much love. Let's just be honest. No. Meanwhile, the SEC, Paul, announcing yesterday they're going to implement a 9-game football schedule beginning in 2026. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey was a guest on your show after the announcement. What did you take away from that conversation?
I think Greg Sankey is tired of people in the Big Ten, particularly taking shots at the SEC for only playing an 8-game schedule. This is now going to be a 9-game schedule, and all the Kurt Signettis of the world can pike down because the SEC will be playing a monster schedule next year, even though I think they already do one this year. Yeah. It's also a precursor for an expanded playoff. It's going to go beyond 12. Is it going to 16 or 26 is the question.
It's been 8 conference games in the SEC every season since 1992. Paul Finebaum with the insight on SportsCenter. Thank you so much.